Hi, welcome back to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your guide into the world of Chinese, being it language or culture or expressions, way of life, way of thinking. I want to show you the Chinese life that I have. Okay, so what we do here is I will show you one expression a day and use one or two characters from yesterday's in today's new phrase. So yesterday we learned 野外求生, and I told you the story of the greatest adventurer, the outdoor activists back then, like almost 1,000 years ago, 徐霞客. So 野外求生 talks about the survival in the wilderness, and we have 求生 as survival, and 野外 altogether is like wilderness, wilder, and this is outdoor. Okay, so today we're going to learn 求之不得. So 求 is the same 求, it's a verb. It's like you want something, you're seeking something, you're pursuing something. That's 求. And its original meaning came from the fur coat. So original written was got this furry portion above this 求 portion, and eventually this got the fur, and the 求 become, so fur coat. I mean, it's probably a symbol of wealth back then. That's what people want. Because it's functional and it looks good, right? But I know the fashion industry nowadays, like, we're against the fur. I'm totally like, yes, for protecting animals. Sorry, back to this. So this word, the want, comes into being. So 求之不得, it's like you want something but you are not getting it. Okay, 知, this word. This is common ancient, like old Chinese way of expression, like make it almost sound instantly classier, simply because, in English we use it to refer to something. It's like a variable X, you can put anything there, like imply for something else. It's the same thing in Chinese, but it's just, it sounds more classical Chinese. So it instantly make it sound more formal, like you want to use this word in a phrase that you really put a lot of thoughts and have mostly like a good meaning in it. Well, that's probably not true, but okay, this is a special word, simply means it in Chinese, and it's written like beautiful too. It's like letter Z, right? Z, and with the dot above it. So it's together, want it. And we have this 不 before, right? Means no. And because it's pairing with a word, get, 得. So it's not, right? Cannot. And 得, we had this one before. Simply means you get, you have this money sign on the top and the hand sign at the bottom, and then this is the act, like an act of walking originally, and then now it's just act. So this act of you get money with your hand, that's your payment, right? It's a legal way of getting paid, getting something you want by labor or providing service. So that's the origin of the meaning 得. So the whole phrase reminds me of an English song by Ariana Grande, right? And she sings, I want it, I get it, I want it, I get it. And that's kind of, oh, okay. That's pretty 2021 or 2020 mentality. Because most of the time, like in my life experience, it's like I want it, I probably not get it until I try really, really hard or work on it really, really long, for a long time, and then I get it. It's never that easy when I get it. But probably in her song's context, there, I mean, I don't know, there's no time indicator to say how fast she can get it. It seems like pretty easy, but that's the mentality, like possibilities nowadays not ever existed before. So this is a language from before. It's you want it, but you're not getting it. And I put over here the old way of Chinese character, like a picture drawing. So here, pause a little bit. This two, one is zhi, one is bu. Can you guess which one is which? It looks almost like a mirror image, horizontally flipped. But of course, it's one is zhi, one is bu. Make your best guess. Now make up your mind. Okay, now I'm going to announce it. This is zhi, this is bu. And okay, zhi, it looks like almost like a cactus, right? The shape growing from the floor. So it's something plant growing. And we have seen a lot of plant growing image before. And this one just means, refer to, okay, that's that thing growing over there. That's how the zhi becomes. And because this is like hard to write, right? Like this is so much faster. So, eventually it changed its shape, morphed into this shape. But it means it came from this. And this is bu. So I was wondering like how the concept of negation, bu, come into the language, like how the language or the culture express it's not, it's no. Okay, so the story goes, I'm not sure if it's true, the story goes that this is like the sky, the ancient people's limit of their visible universe, the sky, in the daytime, of course. And then the below it is the bird, like flying toward the sky. And then the meaning of no comes from, okay, this bird keeps flying toward the sky. It's no, like it doesn't want to come down. It's not giving up, flying toward the sky, not going down. So that's where the not comes from. I don't know. That's one explanation. We can only imagine how people conceptualize this negation idea back then. Okay, so that's today's phrase, 求之不得. And altogether, I try to think of a way of corresponding. It's like you want it, you're not getting it. Okay, so this phrase is classical example of how Chinese can really mess up with your mind, because it could be the opposite, the exact opposite meaning, and depends on the interpretation and the context. So it could be, okay, I want something, but I literally not getting it. It's frustration, right? It's a defeated or failure or whatever. It's downward going. But it can be also used in another, like a flipped meaning. It's like, oh my God, that like this is something I've been wanting for a long time. Now I finally get it. That phrase is left out of the picture. So that, new information is not in there, but with the previous sentence, like I have been seeking for a long time and I'm not getting it. Only stopped over there, and then implied that you finally get it. Get it? Okay, so in a lot of times, like if in the context of the story goes, like you finally achieved something, you get something, especially something like you have been trying so hard and you kind of, predict that you're not going to get it, or for a much, much longer term, right? But all of a sudden you get it, you get there, you reach your goal. And then that's the, kind of a surprise, pleasant surprise that, wow, this is not this is more than what I can ask for. So this is, I want to put the positive meaning here. So it's like, I cannot ask for more, like I finally get it. Okay, so the picture here is, idealized, of course, the aesthetic of contemporary people, artists' idea of the beauty back then, Chinese beauty, like how the femininity shone through on this sculpture. And I want to point out one interesting phenomenon here. If you notice, like a lot of times Chinese, well, I mean, first off, this girl definitely not working class, right? Long gowns and luxurious fabric. That's no way like for ordinary people. So this is somebody's daughter or wife. I mean, looks more like a daughter. Sorry, my judgment in there. But anyway, it's a cute lady and doing its backward bending, which is really, really rare gesture that you're not going to see it in any of the ancient paintings. Like, well, I took it back. Okay, so in one of the series of a cave painting, there are like ladies playing with instruments, right? And there are this stretch of the arms backwards and holding the instrument, pipa, in the back and play. So it's kind of coming from the same gesture, almost like. But anyways, it's like a spreading out, like a reaching out gesture, which is really, really rare, rarely seen on a Chinese lady. Chinese lady is more like contained, preserved, like not showing. But this is like, oh, spreading out. This is more contemporary ladies, gesture, posture, almost Instagram friendly posture. Okay. So one thing interesting is, okay, you see their clouds, these pink, cute, swirling face is the cloud depiction, right? So that means this is not even, a rich family's daughter. No, this is a fairy. She is riding on top of a cloud, doing her morning stretch, something like that. But I want to point out that, okay, look at the details of her fabric. This is like a brocade. It's with texture in it, and these are the cranes, which means longevity. So all of the details kind of signifier of her identity. So it's kind of very related to longevity, probably. And then I don't know how to say this, but this flowy strings of fabric, like to my practical point of view, like have no position, like no point of putting it there on the costume. Like, what do you need it for? Like, they're not holding any stuff for you. They're not covering you. Like, what's the function of this? And then I kind of understand, because these strips of fabrics, just like separate strings of fabrics that appears to be like not functional at all. Like, it's not holding stuff, it's not covering stuff. What is that for? Is actually a kind of like a signifier of the what we call qi chang. Qi is your energy, chang is your field, almost like a signifier of your energy field. That's the way of in Eastern culture. If you have this airflow like going outward, like you the center, and then the airflow going outward, like horizontally, and it got to be seen somehow, right? And it cannot be seen if you're wearing a tight dress. It has to be this loose strips of fabric to show that, oh, there are air flowing from you, or maybe through you, like passing by you. But anyway, like you are surrounded by this atmospherical sense of air flowing. So this motion, now my imagination or interpretation of what that is that's the signifier of this person's qi chang, energy field. Like you can see like going out like that, right? It's comparable to Western cultures. In saint, you have a halo circle, like a yellow light bulb thing looking halo on top of your head. So that's kind of the Western way to signify, oh, that person got some special energy around it. It's not a regular human, right? It's somebody with a special power. So that, in my view, with this, non-functional strips of fabric, it kind of shows the airflow from that person. or around that person to show this is her halo, comparable to the Western halo. And extra freebie for you, 衣上. 衣 means the upper body dress. 上 means the lower body skirts, like mostly the long, floor length, long skirts. I mean, Chinese as well as the Western culture as well, that not showing your feet, right? That's used to be some sensitive area for a female's body that we are not going to show to the public. So the gowns at that time always floor length. So 上 is this floor length gown at the bottom, and then you have the top. 衣上 together means in general terms just clothing. So there we go. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know why I put a fairy in pretty dresses on here, but maybe I try to mean that you have been working for so hard or so long for something, and all of a sudden something good happened. You're stretching out. You have your field out there, like that sense of fulfillment that you can't ask for more. I don't know. All right, so thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you again. I hope that's not 求之不得 for me. It really happens. Thank you.